Shalom, shalom. This message is the wilderness before us, Babylon behind us. This message is mostly for those that have already left Babylon and they are within his borders. To some that's still in Babylon, have not left, and you want to leave, you can get something from this also. But this is mostly for those that's already within the borders. Okay, this is where Yahuah wants our mind, us that's within the borders. He wants us to understand, know and understand that Babylon is behind us. We have nothing to do with her. We broke off from her. We left her. We left her idols. We left all of the abominations. We understand that her abominations, her sins have reached unto the heavens, and we are taking no part of this abomination. Let me show you something here. I went past it. Let me go back. Look at this lie that we got from Christianity. We're in the world, but not of it. This is a lie. If you see the people in dark here, and you have them there light as if they're righteous, and it make it seem as if they can do whatever they want to do, but it doesn't affect these. And that's not according to Scripture. And we understand this. We understand this is far from Scripture. The Scripture says the opposite, because it's the sins of the people, it's the abomination of the people that make the land become an abomination and not fit for the righteous. Let me show you here. These are the idols. These are her idols. And of course the Scripture mentions all of her idols. Her idols are basically her mighty ones, those that she uphold. And we go on and on and on here. And I can't show all of them, but you understand the many idols that's within her. Every state you go to, just about every city, there are idols everywhere. And again, all of this is behind us. He hates these things, and we are to hate these things also. The homosexuality, all of the murders and everything that's going on, all the abominations, worshiping these other mighty ones, the people that worship the devil, taking over the schools. Again, we're done. We're finished. This is all behind us. Okay, get into the scriptures here. This is Isaiah 21:9. It says, "And look, here comes a chariot of men with a pair of horsemen. Then he answered and said, Babylon is fallen. It's fallen." See, we understand it's already fallen. It's spoken, and it's already fallen. It's fallen. It's fallen. In all the carved images of her mighty ones, he has broken to the ground. He's going to break them to the ground. This is a fact. Another thing I want to mention here, there have been many, many movies showing Babylon is falling. It's falling, showing that Babylon, and showing those statues, those carved images being broken to the ground and water coming over her. There have been movies after movies after movies. Okay, Isaiah 51:9. And this is for us. "Awake, awake, put on strength, O arm of Yahuah. Awake as in the ancient days." This was something that, before I came out of her, he gave me this. And I knew exactly what he was saying. You have to change. He was saying, son, you have to change your mind. You have to change your mentality. You have to change your thinking. We are used and accustomed to microwave, getting things quick, fast, and this technological age we're living in, where we have internet, cell phones, and all these other devices make life comfortable. He says, awake as in the ancient days. They didn't have these things. They didn't have a bathroom that you can go to and flush the toilet. See, he's changing our mindset here. And he's saying you're going to have to do away with these things. You're not going to be able to have these things. He says, awake as in the ancient days and the generations of old. He says, are you not the arm that cut Rahab apart and wounded the serpent. And again, he understands the might and power that we once had. We don't understand. So he's trying to remind us of our might, our strength, and our power that we once had. And of course, the ancient, awake to the ancient of days is getting our mind on what's to come, the wilderness. It says, behold, this is Isaiah 43:19. Behold, I will do a new thing. How many times we heard in Christianity, he's going to do a new thing, but all we saw year after year was the same thing happening. This word here is for us. And he says, behold, I will do a new thing. When have you seen people flock within his borders like we are flocking right now? When have you seen Yasharal awake, rise up, awake from slumber, and know who he is? When? You see, this didn't happen in the 70s and the 80s. There was a small awakening, but that was just for a plan that he had. That wasn't the big awakening. He says, now it shall spring forth. Shall you not know it? Many people will not know it, because the road to destruction is broad and the road to righteousness is narrow and few find it. So many people don't know this. They don't even know what's going on right now. He says, I will even make a road in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. So this is the new thing he wants us to think about, what he's going to do. He's going to make a road in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. Where it's dry land, there shall be water. And once again, like I said, we have to change our thinking. We get our water through our pipes. What if he pour water on the ground and say, here, there's your water on the ground, drink from it? Most people will say, I'm not drinking water from the ground. Are you crazy? I don't drink. We get our water out of the pipes. Well, in the wilderness, there will be no water coming out of pipes. So make sure you understand this point, this fact. And you honestly, you need to understand what our people went through in the wilderness and how they lived in the wilderness, because this is what's before us. Isaiah 41:19, he says, I will plant in the wilderness the cedar and the acacia tree, the myrtle and the oil tree. I will set in the desert the cypress tree and the pine and the box tree together. Now, why you ask yourself, why is he planting these trees in the wilderness? These trees, you need to do your research on each and every one of these trees. Each one of them is very, very significant, and it's needed. We need it for survival, and we need it for the things he wants us to do. You just need to look into each tree and what we need from these trees. Listen, we can't make it in the wilderness without these trees. We can't even make it in the wilderness if he didn't prepare it for us. But this is exactly what he's doing and what he's done. He's prepared the wilderness for his people. Okay, this is Enoch 61, and I'm going to read 3 through 5. And the messenger who went with me said unto me, these shall bring the measures of the righteous and the ropes of the righteous to the righteous. So you have a rope of righteous being brought to the righteous. Now, when these messengers do this, understand they are doing this throughout the whole entire earth. They are going to the righteous with this rope of righteousness. And this is the reason why. That they may stay themselves in the name of Yahuah forever and ever. This will sustain and keep them. This is what's needed for those that's out on the outside before we come into the borders. Okay, and verse 4 says, the elect shall begin to dwell with the elect. Now, this is something that shows us how we are not to be split up all over the earth forever. It says the elect shall begin to dwell with the elect. And this is what we're doing right now. We are coming within his borders, and we will begin to dwell with each other at the appointed time. There's an appointed time for us to dwell. There's always an appointed time. And there's an appointed time for us to dwell together. We should not be dwelling together until it's time for the journey, for the trip. That's another message. And those And those are the measures which shall be given to them that believe, and which shall strengthen the righteous. So this will strengthen the righteous, also showing that the righteous, we will be in need. We will be weak. This is what I want to say. We will be weak and have to be strengthened. Verse 5, and these measures shall reveal all the secrets of the depths of the earth. So we're going to understand. He's already giving secrets. He's telling us secrets right now. And many of the secrets that he's telling us, the rest of Yahuah doesn't know these secrets because they are not within his borders. It says, and those who have been deserted by the desert, and those who have been devoured by the beasts, and those who have been devoured by the fish of the sea. What for? Listen to this. That they may return and stay themselves. So here we go with return and discern. Here we go. I told you there were many other scriptures. I couldn't bring out all of them. That they may return and stay themselves. Stay themselves. Stay themselves. What do you mean stay? Sustain yourself. Don't listen. Once you return, Babylon and these other countries we came from that we've been held captive, we're going to stay away from them. It's behind us. That's why this message is the wilderness before us and Babylon is behind us. We're finished with those lands. It says, on the day of the elect one, for none of them shall be destroyed before Yahuah, and none can be destroyed. So we're understanding these people. This is your 144,000. These people this is the seal we're reading about. Because none of them will be destroyed and none can be. Once they're sealed, they can't be destroyed. Now, I'm going to make a small point here about this seal. And I haven't been talking much about it, but I did get a question concerning the seal. The people, before we came out of the countries, listen, those vows that's talked about in Revelation, they were open. And so the people had to be sealed. The people got sealed on the outside of the borders. This is what he did. There's no reason to get sealed within the borders and within the wilderness. There's a wall of protection around us. So this sealing took place on the outside. And I know many people don't know this. They don't understand this. They never heard this before, but it's a fact. The people, before we left these countries, had to be sealed because of what was all around us, all the death that was around us. And once we came within the borders, we were already sealed. Okay, this is Isaiah 32, 9 through 19. And I'm not going to get all of it on this. This will be a second part, but I will begin with this. This is a message for the women that's in these lands, that's stuck, they're having problems. Listen at this. I got a couple questions, and I put this in here to address this a little. This is what he's saying to these women. He's saying, and this is many of these women. Let me make sure you understand. Many women having problems. They're having problems with their husbands because most men, I don't know, we lack understanding. We lack righteousness. The war that's against the people of Yahuah, the main focus is the men. And so for the women, you must understand it's the men that have the main goal, the main focus is on them. And so the attack is hard against Yahuah men. And the women is not as attacked as hard as the men. It says, rise up, you women who are at ease. Hear my voice. The Most High is talking to you right here. Daughters of Zion, he's talking. He's telling you, hear my voice, okay? It's time to pay attention. It's time to Shema. It's time to Shema to the voice of the Most High. Not to me, not to anybody else. It's time to Shema to him. And Shema, we know the Shema. It means to listen, understand, and do. Don't just listen. Don't just hear these words that's about to come forth. Don't just hear them. He says, hear, listen, and do them. You make sure you do them. It's very important. It's vital.